Hi there, my name is Renee. I'm from Michigan. I'm a real estate agent and investor. And today I just want to go over my vision for co-living. Now, co-living could also be called shared housing. There's a few different terms for it out there in the wide world of rentals. But I really want to share why I'm so passionate about this topic and why it's so important. We all know that inflation's going up, housing prices are very high now, and that probably isn't going to get better for the next couple of years. So, interest rates don't help any, and so it's kind of like a bunch of negatives stacking up with each other and just not leading to a very easy situation for people to rent their own place or even buy their own place. So I think co-living is a wonderful meld of not just saving money for residents, but also helping landlords find a place to invest that actually is better for the community in the long run and also better for themselves in returns. So, my vision, and I've been very passionate about offering seniors co living, so like 55 and over, or you could say 62 and over. Seniors face a lot of challenges that are not nearly as easy to overcome. A lot of times they're on fixed incomes. There's a lot of things that they're facing. They don't have loved ones, maybe their friends have passed away. They just have limited resources to pull from, unlike people who are in the younger bracket, who often have parents to turn to or siblings or friends still from high school or college. So my vision is for offering co-living to everyone, but in particular seniors. And one big thing is the housing cost situation. There are some, reduced housing options in areas where seniors live, but there's not a lot, and they're full, immediately once they become open again. I'm in the rental space in a smaller rural area, but there's just not a lot of options for people on fixed incomes, and so they have very little that they can do. A lot of them end up homeless or living in an RV or living in their car. I'm in some senior co-living Facebook groups, and I cannot even believe how many people live in their cars. I did not know this. A lot of times they live in the warmer areas, so they don't have to worry about cold, in the evening and nighttime. But it just shocked me that so many don't have a house to live in, and they just take showers where they can find them, gas stations, whatever it may be, and that's how they live. And they just have nothing else that they can do because their income is so low. Another thing is community. I've noticed a lot of people, especially in the senior world, seniors are the ones known to have the least amount of interaction with people either of their age or younger, or their families even. They're home alone a lot, wherever they may be. And so having a community, I can't tell you how many people when I post, how many are like, I want people to talk to every day. I want someone to share maybe a couple issues with. I want someone to celebrate with. They're just lonely. They don't get out and socialize like they used to. So I think that sense of community in co-living is vital for just keeping hope in your life and for keeping that faith in humanity that there's someone there for you and you can be there for others. Another thing is I feel like some people get bogged down in just trying to slog through life. When you do that, you kind of like miss out on actually living. You're just trying to get through the workday. You're just trying to get your chores done. But I think co-living offers a more dynamic environment in order to change it up a bit. Just give you more perspective in life and see someone else's struggles or situation and just kind of like maybe appreciate your life more and just kind of change up the flow of your day-to-day experience. So co-living is great for that. Also, reaching financial goals, especially if it's a younger co-living house, like younger professionals. I find that the savings in the co-living space by just renting a room and sharing the wider house is much more conducive to saving for a future house someday or for a better apartment, in a year or two. Even for seniors, a lot of them are on fixed incomes. And so allowing them to stay at a lower rent amount is going to help them be able to not just live in a house and afford this, but also maybe do other things in their community or with their family and be able to afford that. I've seen way too many seniors that literally can't do anything extra because they have no money. And that's just sad that you can't go live your life at the end like that. Another thing is someone who cares for you. So when you live in a co-living house, you know you're not alone, unless you want to be, unless you stay in your room all day. But there are so many people to talk to, and with such diverse experiences, I feel like people just get, it's almost like having a counselor, but many different versions of a counselor. But you don't want to share all your problems constantly with them, but it's just nice to have a perspective from someone who's experienced life differently than you, and just to see like what their opinion is and see if there's something you can learn. So just the fact that there is someone willing to listen, and then you in turn listen to them, that alone, like, humans just want connection, and we want to know like someone's there, and a co-living situation provides that perfectly. Now, I'm not going to say there aren't any challenges in co-living, whether it's seniors or younger people, but there are definitely when you're in a house with many people. Just like in a normal family, you know, mom, dad, siblings, all that good stuff, there's always going to be some arguments and clashes. So personality clashes are probably one of the main ones. Everyone is very different. There's a billion ways to be a human, and of course, they're not always going to align from person to person. So just kind of being more accommodating to those differences in each other is vital. It's actually a skill a lot of people in adulthood haven't learned yet. They haven't had to. They haven't been placed in the situation to learn and reflect on their own behavior. So personality clashes are there, but I think it's a great growth experience. Also, cleaning schedule. There are tasks that you have to do in a co-living house. Just like you would in your apartment, you would clean it all, just like you would in a regular house. You have to share in the work between actual professional cleanings to keep the place picked up and relatively, in good working order, hopefully. And others don't want to live in your filth, and you don't want to live in their filth. So cleaning up after yourself is really an important thing. So some people are great at that, and some people not so much. So again, another learning experience for seniors and whatever age you're working with. Another thing, there are less quiet spaces in the house. That's why some people just like their quiet space and to be able to do whatever they want when they want. And I get that completely. But in a co-living house, you might have, depending on the size of the house, of course, one shared space, maybe two, maybe even three. There's an outdoor space a lot of times. But really, your room is the only truly secluded place you can go and shut the door. So it's a little different than a normal residence where you're just alone in an apartment or something, because you have less places to escape. But also, I think that's good because some people are too, sequestered on their own, and they don't get out enough. So in a way, it's good. In a way, it's negative. Also, sharing bathrooms is one of the common things that is a challenge with co-living. Seniors in particular are very set in their ways. And I've heard many say that they do not want to share a bathroom with someone. Again, I can completely appreciate that. The problem is not a lot of houses are set up to provide a private bathroom for every bedroom. That's actually very rare to find that. You have to have it built especially for that purpose. I saw someone gave me plans for 8 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms. Everyone had their own ensuite, and that was wonderful. Like, that's ideal. But it's going to cost $800,000 to build, and rent's going to have to be pretty high. So in order to offer a lower co-living cost option, there are some sacrifices that need to be made, including sharing a bathroom, sharing a kitchen sometimes. I know the bathroom's the big one, but that's just kind of how it goes if you need to save money or are looking to, just spend less on rent overall because you want other things in life. Another challenge that I find is even though co-living is relatively cheap, it's anywhere from 60 to 80% of what a normal one-bedroom apartment would be. And I include utilities in mine, so it's even less expensive. But it's harder on fixed income people. And that's why I find like there's so many seniors, again, referring back to the Facebook groups I'm in, I can't tell you how many just said, maybe it's time I just leave this earth. And they're just thinking of being done with it all. And that more than anything like hits me. Every time I read that, I'm like, I cannot believe we are to this point where they have so little money that they feel they're A, not worthy to be around anymore and they're a burden, and B, like they just feel there's nowhere to go, no one to turn to, no one there to help. And that kills me. Like just thinking you're not valuable to actually live the one life you get here. That's just shocking and not acceptable to me. So fixed income people need options that are cheaper than a house or apartments. Apartment renting is depending on the area, has gotten very expensive the last couple years with inflation, and there's just too many people that don't have a place to go now. They have nowhere to turn. And I think co-living could be a perfect, wonderful way to kind of combat this epidemic we're seeing in people without housing. Even if you have to share a bedroom, there's some houses in every big city that actually do this. You can have, depending on the bedroom size, 2 or 3 per bedroom, and that's better than nothing. I know it's not ideal. I know you don't have that little quiet space, but sharing rooms or sharing houses amongst many unrelated people, to me, is the perfect blend of saving money and being cost effective, having a community for the people, and also providing a much needed service so that they don't wind up on the streets or in their cars or in their RV permanently. So those are some of the reasons I find senior co-living and just regular co-living for any age vital to provide. Zoning is such a pain. Some townships and cities are adamantly against people that are not related sharing a house. And I know traditionally boarding houses have had issues, but there has to be rules within the boarding house space or the co-living space in order to accommodate people who literally can't live any way else. They just have to because this is all they can afford. So I feel like we're going to get there, but it's going to take a lot of court battles, a lot of lawyers. I know Pad Split, there's a lot of companies in this space that are trying to make headway with zoning regulations and just being allowed to operate this way and offer this service for people who need it. So just want to share that with you, why it's near and dear to my heart, why I feel it's going to solve a lot of people's issues in the future here. And if you ever want to invest with me, I would be happy to partner up. Can be any way you want, whatever works best for you, but I'm looking for investors actively. I have a few that are lined up right now, and I plan to start buying more co-living houses here in 2024. But I would welcome anyone who wants to partner on this and maybe use my knowledge. And I love setting up the house, so that's like the part that really I love. I love the numbers. I love finding the house, buying it, setting it up, and kind of getting everyone, into that space. So I would love to partner up. If you have questions, let me know. I'm available on Facebook, Renee Bacon Real Estate Agent. I'm on Instagram, Renee Realtor Investor, I think it is. And I would love to partner up and bring this as a reality to more cities and more states in our country. So that's all. Have a good day and goodbye.